session. And we go from here. Okay, so good evening, everybody, and welcome to the expert meetup of online dating with Eimar. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will hand over to Eimar, and then we'll speak to you soon. We'll have a couple of questions later.
Mute. Always helps. Hi everyone, thank you all for making the commitment to join this evening, and happy St. Valentine's Day. I'm sure it's been full of all the cheesiness that we're meant to be enjoying. Don't know about anybody else, but I feel like it's kind of created a bit of stress for me for the last few weeks, seeing just all the shops taken over with it. But yeah, hey, I'm enjoying the jumper. So there we are. So yeah, I'm Eimar. Typical Irish name with far too many vowels. So that was great pronunciation. And I am a dating coach, and I create opportunities for love for anyone feeling stuck in their romantic life. My business, Kindling Dating, has been born out of personal experience. I can honestly say I spent years dating, and I didn't realize until it was the end of my dating journey that I had a lot of barriers up. And whilst I was doing all the dating and I was telling everyone like, yeah, I'm trying to find somebody, I was also telling myself that I was okay being single, and I was focused on my career, and I was busy, and finding somebody would just be the cherry on top. And it wasn't really until I got really honest with myself and admitted that I was lonely that I was able to break out of the negative cycle I was in. And I actually met my husband on Tinder, of all places. Some might say a particularly hopeless place, but it does work. I think everyone kind of basically hates dating apps until they find their one on a dating app, and then they're like, yeah, they're amazing. So yeah, I think particularly now with all the different online dating and dating apps that we have, I think in theory it's easier to meet somebody, but actually the reality is it's harder to find true connections, and it's really easy to get demotivated, to lose trust, to allow our self-esteem to get knocked, and unknowingly build defenses around ourselves to protect from hurt. But I do believe with the right mindset, love can be found. So my coaching is a no BS approach to cut through the noise of dating, and it's empowering you to be your true selves and to have the confidence that you are enough. I'm not sure if any of that resonated with people. But I think I saw a couple of head nods there in my corner of my eye. So tonight I wanted to take you through a couple of exercises that I like to use to get people started with creating a positive mindset for dating. And then I wanted to leave as much open time for you guys to throw questions at me as possible. So anything you want to ask, just pop it in the chat box, or jump in. Feel free to interrupt at any point, it's fine. Just in terms of kind of little bits of admin, you don't need to interact or have your video on, but if you do, it's entirely up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. And just to let you know as well that I work within the person-centered framework, and that means that I'm creating a place of no judgment. So I ask everyone that's present tonight as well to suspend their judgment too. And then just in terms of how the exercises will go, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'll give about 30 seconds of awkward silence for you to jot down the first thing that comes to mind. So don't overthink it, just whatever pops up for you. And you can go back through these during the week and finesse a little bit. So has everyone got a pen and paper? Thumbs up. Scurry off and get some.
Everyone literally is now like frantically running.
Yeah, sorry. I possibly should have mentioned that beforehand.
I don't know wine, but I don't know what else you need. Tea.
You definitely probably need some tea. Oh, we've got another heart jumper. Loving it. Caroline.
Oh, love that, Caroline.
Thanks.
Right, everyone got pen and paper at the ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, should we jump in? Okay, so tonight I'll be focusing on your readiness to change, identifying your genuine reasons for wanting change, and increasing your belief that you can by building your self-esteem. And whatever you write down, it's through your eyes only. So be as honest and vulnerable with yourself as you can, because that's kind of where the magic happens, though it's not always comfortable to do it. Okay, so this first exercise is called Capture the Moment. And the aim of this is to capture how you're feeling now and what made you say yes to joining tonight. There will be times, particularly if you're in the online dating space, where you want to give up on it. And what we want to do is capture where you are now, what was brought you to want to make a change. And then this will serve as a reminder for why you're putting the effort into dating when you start to feel demotivated. And hopefully in a few weeks' time, you can look back and see how far you've come as well. So, first question, how are you feeling currently, both in general and specifically around dating? As promised, awkward silence. I always really struggle with not filling it. I'm going to sit back, be quiet. I can still see a couple of pens going, so I'll give another few seconds. Okay, next question. What don't you like about being single? Why do you want things to change? Okay. Thinking of your last relationship or a relationship that you have fond memories of, what was the feeling that you enjoyed about being in that relationship? And we want you to try to get specific on the feelings that you enjoyed. And then how about if you never met somebody? If you stayed single, how would that feel? And then finally, complete the sentence. I've decided to commit to finding somebody because. Okay, so during the week, I want you to take what you've written tonight and use it as the basis to write a letter to yourself that captures where you are now. So for example, dear Eimar, it's Valentine's 2023. I'm feeling a bit fed up again. And then use the answers of those questions to flesh that out of how your mood is and how you feel towards dating and towards being single and how committed you are to changing that and finding somebody. So with this, you're really just capturing a snapshot of where you are now so you can revisit it when your motivation is wavering. And it's a reminder of why you're creating change. I would also like you guys all to take a little moment and give yourself a little pat on the back and acknowledge that it's really brave to admit that you're not happy staying single. The much easier option is to convince ourselves that we're okay. I've got great friends, I've got a busy social life, I don't have time, work is my passion, I don't need anyone. Any of that sound familiar? Because that is definitely where I was for years. And it was like, meeting somebody would just be the cherry on top. But that was actually sending out this energy that I didn't really want to meet anybody. So I was going on these dates, but giving out this energy that actually I didn't need them. So I was kind of repelling anybody that was potentially going to be a partner for me. And it's, that kind of honesty and vulnerability that is really hard to face into, that actually opens up the opportunities for love to come in and creates that more attractive energy that attracts not just a partner, but lots of abundance into your life. Sounds a bit kooky, but it is true. Mm-hmm. Okay, next exercise. This one is easier, or at least it should be. Again, I'll give you time to answer the questions and just jot down the first thing that comes to mind. And please, no modesty on this one, okay? So this exercise is called Things I Like About Myself. We find that liking and accepting ourselves helps us to consider yourself worthy of living the life that you want. But unknowingly, we can get into feeling that other people's opinions of us matter more. And this can hold us back. Particularly with online dating, we're opening ourselves up. And it's important to remember that we're being brave enough to make ourselves vulnerable and potentially opening ourselves to rejection on a daily basis, which, what sane person is going to just willingly walk into that? But that's the world we're in. And as terrifying as online dating can be sometimes, it is actually your friend, because it means you can open up this whole pool of people, and you can also get quite specific so that you're connecting with people that share the same values and important things in life as you. So to kind of get ourselves in the mood for that, I think we need to have a bedrock of love for ourselves to navigate dating today. So I want you to write down what you like about yourself. And like I said, no modesty, This should be the longest list you possibly can. Think about your personality, think about your qualities, your strengths, think about things that you've achieved in life, your physical appearance, all of it. I want as many words as possible. So I said this should be an easier exercise, but most of my clients actually find this quite difficult. I don't think we ever really take the time to appreciate ourselves, and it can get like a little bit kind of like awkward and uncomfortable to do that when we're not used to it. So I'm going to read out like a whole list of words, and any ones that resonate with you, just write them down. And this is not an exhaustive list. This is just to get you start thinking that, like, if you got a bit stuck on that and go, oh, I can't think of anything, there will be words in this that you go, oh yeah, I'm definitely that, and I am that, and I'm that. And by the end of it, you'll see you have a lot more on that list than you initially thought. So this is going to be alphabetical and a bit short fire in an Irish accent, but here, let's go. Active, adaptable, adventurous, ambitious, amiable, appreciative, attentive, attractive, balanced, beautiful, brave, calm, capable, caring, considerate, compassionate, committed, courageous, creative, cultured, curious, daring, decisive, determined, dynamic, efficient, elegant. Shall I keep going? Are we getting the gist? I'll keep going. Head nods. Yeah, I'll do a few more. Enthusiastic, fair, forgiving, friendly, fun-loving, funny, generous, hardworking, humorous, independent, intelligent, intuitive, kind, laid back, loving, passionate, personable, positive, practical, sexy, self-aware, sociable, unique. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. But hopefully that's kind of been able to get you going a little bit more. Next, any hidden talents? And finally, something I wouldn't know about you from looking at you. Okay, so during the week, I'd like you to write down a list of what you like about yourself. Again, use this as a starting point and just add in as much as you can. And also you can add to this anytime. Anytime you receive a compliment, make sure to add it in. And this is to act as a reminder that anybody would be lucky to get to spend time with you. I think with dating, we can really get into this feeling of like it's all about us finding somebody and us making ourselves attractive for somebody to like us. But actually, it's as much about enabling somebody to find you, because there's somebody out there that is looking for exactly what you offer. And all of us have a lot to offer. And it's almost switching that narrative to one, be more positive, but two, also, it's not you desperately seeking, it is you enabling somebody to find you, because you can make their life so much better. And there is somebody out there looking for that connection. Okay, so that's just a couple of exercises that I like to use to get people in a kind of positive frame of mind. One, to kind of focus on what it is that they want when they start dating journey, and two, to remember not to get yourself lost in it. And that's kind of the work that I do within Kindling, is taking people on a bit of a journey to build themselves up, and then I combine that with practical tips for navigating the dating scene. So over to you guys. Any questions?
I think as well, generally, within the single parent community, however you become a single parent, and we all have a big variety here at the community of why we're at this kind of point of being a single parent. I think that depending on the circumstance, but generally most of us have been very heartbroken, very hurt. So for us to find the positives back into ourselves and remember, like, yeah, I'm great, I am. Anyone is so lucky. I'm brilliant. I really am. It takes a long time to kind of feel that back, if you ever feel that way again, type of thing. But it takes a lot of guts and a lot of determination to overcome all that. And I think that was one of the hardest things for me on my single parent journey, was that I just didn't want to be with anybody then, because I was married for 17 years. I was very happy, or so I thought. And then just left. And then I just felt totally worthless on every level as a partner, as a person, as a mother, everything. It took me a long time to kind of rebuild that up before dating. And I think that that's quite a hard thing, isn't it? Depending on people, they might be more vulnerable, domestic violence, everything of awfulness. And it's really hard then to make yourself feel really positive and really good for that, really, to kind of start the new journey of dating.
I think definitely you need to take that time for yourself, but then it's, having that bravery, and it might be years later that you kind of go, actually, no, I don't want to stay stuck here. And I'm going to put myself back out there. And it takes guts. It definitely takes guts. I think, anybody post any heartbreak, the thing that you want to do is just hide under a duvet, really, isn't it? But you can't, and you're not going to, because life goes on.
Totally.
And that's kind of what I like to do, is kind of help people move past that and find what it is that is your old story that you need to let go of, and create that new story that's a lot more positive and open. And there's quite a nice theory that I like to fall back on, and it's this idea of leaning into fear or leaning into love. So when we're leaning into fear, we're seeing all the things that could go wrong, seeing how we could get hurt again, and we end up trying to protect ourselves from that, which is human instinct, right?
Of course.
Willingly puts themselves in front of a lion when we're back in caveman times. But we've now turned into like,
don't do it, but no, okay, I must, don't do it.
But if we can open ourselves up to loving opportunities, and when you're in that moment of decision, say, actually, I could experience something wonderful and I'm going to be optimistic, then it just opens up so many more doors.
Absolutely. Another little question. So how do you approach saying you are a single parent? From the beginning, would you say? Or what if you had a very difficult ex? And how much info would you give and when you're dating someone new?
For me, I think with anything, it's you want to be able to show your true self, because whether it's the fact that you're a single parent or that you have different things that you're working past, if you are trying to hide and put on a facade, at some point that facade needs to come down, right? But with kids, it's obviously a little bit more sensitive because you don't necessarily want to be putting them in the middle of anything or getting them involved. But I think ultimately it comes down to what you feel comfortable with and what feels authentic to you to put that forward. But yeah, certainly I feel like there's a lot of, saying what you think people want to hear and presenting yourself how you think people will find you attractive. But ultimately you need to just present yourself as you. And that includes kids, and it includes whatever baggage is coming with you. And yeah, some people will be like, no, not for me, gonna run a mile. And that's not your person. You know what? If they don't have the courage to get involved in whatever it is that you're bringing, then they're not your person.
Yeah, because Sarah also puts about, it's about rebuilding life, and then it's all like the finances and the struggles of that, being a single parent and one thing another. But ultimately, isn't it really, like you say, being your authentic self? And for whatever your journey is before, it's like, let's just start off a different way from before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I say, start off feeling open and optimistic that, rather than hiding that stuff, you put it out and that person's going to go, do you know what, you're amazing. Because I've got 2 small kids, and I find every day it brings its own challenges, and I have a really supportive partner. Anyone that's doing that on their own is an absolute bloody warrior in my book. And if somebody can't see that, then they're not your person.
Definitely not your person. Definitely not. I 100% agree with you on that one. And what's your thoughts as well regarding kind of online dating, meeting people, in the flesh as such? I know that you met your husband on Tinder. So is online dating still the really quick and, well, not quick, but quick, easy, where you can just start? And you think like, I can kind of hide a little bit in a sense and just get the feelings out from there. Is online dating still really good for that? Or would you throw yourselves out there and meet different, go on walking clubs and things like that, where you can meet different people? What's your thoughts on that?
I think online dating is the most efficient if you approach it in an efficient manner. It's very
That's the
easy.
word, not quick. Not quick. That's the word, efficient. Of course. This is why you do it for a profession. Efficient.
I'm all about efficiency.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's potentially a huge pool of people that you would not meet in your regular day-to-day life. And yes, you can join a walking club or an art class or whatever it is that you think you might connect with somebody, but ultimately you should be doing those things for you because they're nourishing your soul. And if you're doing them thinking you're going to find somebody, and you don't find somebody, then it kind of takes the shine off something that you're doing for yourself. And like speed dating is really becoming popular again.
Okay.
Quite a few speed dating nights. I think they're fun nights. I think, you can meet somebody and it kind of cuts to the chase a bit quicker because you're getting to physically see them and you can see if there's a spark. But again, it's committing a whole evening, and you may or may not find somebody, and it may or may not be fun. But I do think with online, like I say, it opens up a pool. And if you have quite an efficient approach to it and a positive mindset and an open mind, then I think it can lead to good results. The dangers with it is that it's really easy to fall into mindless swiping. And it's like using it without intent. So it's like you dip in and out during the day, you swipe yes to a few people, no to a few people, then you realize actually you've swiped no to almost everyone that's come up. Without even realizing you've done it because you've just kind of got into no mode. And then also, like, we were chatting earlier, that this kind of applying 1950 standards, that I'm going to wait for the guy to message me. Why? It's absolutely bonkers. It's like 2023, we're using this
I love it.
modern way of approaching dating, of online algorithms, and we're still going to sit back and wait for somebody to message us. No, message for somebody and ask them out. Like, I think the thing that happens with online dating is you just get stuck in it, and you get stuck in like the admin of it. And really what you want to do is see it as a bridge. It's just a way to meet people. So you need to meet people, you need to get it from that initial swipe to let's catch up for a date as soon as possible. Because the things that happen is, one, you message for too long and you can't really keep a conversation going because they're a stranger and you don't know if you have anything in common yet. And it will just kind of fizzle out. Or two, you build up this absolute fantasy of like, this person is amazing, they are the one, it's going to be epic. And then you meet them and reality never lives up to that fantasy, because the fantasy is based on rom-com movies that we've all watched way too many of. So you want to get it from messaging to meeting as quickly as possible. And I also love this idea of like a pre-date. So instead of hyping up that first date of like, oh my God, I'm meeting this person, their chat has been great, it's going to be amazing, I'm going to commit my entire Friday night to it, and I'm going to get all done up, and I'm going to go someplace fancy, and I'm going to spend loads of money on paying for her dinner or drinks or whatever. You just break it down to, I'm meeting somebody for the first time. It's 1 hour, it's coffee, it's relaxed, it's casual, and we're just seeing if there's something there. And then if there is, then hell, go for it on the next date. And all the stops then.
And that's really good advice though, isn't it? Obviously, but because sometimes you do, isn't it? You like hype yourself up for like a date, and then you're like, oh yeah, see, Sarah thinks pre-date's brilliant idea as well. Same, I do too. Because it really is, because sometimes you might, like you say, conversations can go online for too long, and then you're a bit like, oh, what should we talk about now? And whereas if you meet them and there is no chemistry, connection, or you don't even laugh or anything, what's the point in taking it any further?
And you just call it.
Yeah, pre-dates are brilliant, and they're cheaper. We can just go for coffee. It's brilliant.
And more efficient.
Little coffee and a little walk. Got to go now. Back off to work. What's your thoughts with pre-dates then? We'll stick with that because we all think it's a good idea. Would you say that they're great to do sort of like in the daytime, if you could, an evening?
I think again, whatever suits,
better kind of time, would you say, or
whatever suits you, whatever suits your lifestyle, whatever you're going to be comfortable in. If realistically you getting out on an evening is not going to happen because it's dependent on your kids getting to bed on time, which I know mine absolutely never do when I need them to. And then I'm just a bundle of stress, and I'm going to arrive on that date like absolutely stressed.
Yeah, and you just want to go home, won't you?
Yeah, I'd probably cancel, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not coming.
I've just read Sleeping Beauty 5 times. I'm over the romance.
I need to sleep.
So yeah, I mean, again, like it's what's going to work for you, and then the person that's right for you is going to work with that. Do you know what I mean? Like if the person, let's say you think a Sunday morning coffee is going to be better, that you're going to feel more relaxed, that you're going to be able to be yourself, and connect easier. And if the person comes back and like, oh, I've never done a sober date in my life, I'm not doing it, then are they the person for you? Maybe not. And I think sometimes we kind of get into this, like really kind of, I don't know, thinking about how should I be and what would they like me to be. But if you're just yourself, then you cut through the chase, because that pretense you can only keep up for so long. So yeah, that's my view. I'm all about, like I said at the start, cutting through the BS.
Yeah, love it. And I think as well, for a lot of us in the single parent community, let alone anybody else as well, but when you've had a lot of that BS, and you've gone through a lot of that, you just think, oh, enough now, isn't it? You know what I mean? You just think, yeah, I'm done with all of that. I just want to meet someone who makes me laugh. We get on really well. It's easy going, no pressure as such. Yeah. So definitely this pre-date thing is brilliant, because you can just do that.
Yeah,
can't
and I
you?
think the kind of challenge is like when you get too much of that, like, oh God, another date. Like you're going in with such a low energy, you're
Yeah.
not gonna create a spark because your energy is low, and that person's going to feed off your energy. So you want to be doing things that build you up, like having a list on your phone of the things that are amazing about you, and go into every encounter just feeling like open and positive. And that should be in whatever setting you're comfortable in, and also in a way that you can let go of what's gone before. Because that's another thing that happens. We all use our past experience to judge other people.
We do.
And I've said I'm a no judgment kind of person, but it is human nature. We put our own lens on everyone. But you want to be going into dates saying, okay, I'm seeing this first person for the first time, not looking for red flags or not seeing that they're wearing those shoes, therefore they must be like my ex, like whatever it is.
So true though.
Or like,
so true.
I get loads of comments. I love red lipstick and I get loads of comments on it. Like I was told you should never wear it to interviews. And I'm like, if somebody's not going to hire me because I'm wearing red lipstick, it's not where I want to work. Like,
Yeah,
no,
totally.
just no.
Yeah, definitely not for me. Not for me at all. I remember my grandfather said to me once, he was like, only ever be with a man with really good shoes. And that literally stuck in my head all the time. Are there any massive, got another question. So are there any massive pitfalls for dating profiles?
There's some, definitely. Okay, let's start with pictures. First picture, sunglasses on? No, I can't see you. First picture being a group of people where I can't tell who you are? No. So first picture needs to be similar to this. It's your head. It shows clearly who you are. Please smile. Everyone's got a lovely smile. I know people get weird about their teeth and they try to smile and not show their teeth and they look all awkward or they think it's a passport photo, but just smile, try, let yourself out as much as you can in a picture. And then the next ones, try show one where it shows what height you are, or like a full body shot so people can see what your body shape is. And again, like this is one for me. I've got massive hang-ups about my size. But you know what? The right person for me is going to accept me the size I am. And back when I met my husband 6 years ago, I was the biggest I'd ever been. I've had 2 babies and I've absolutely ate my way through lockdowns. So I'm way heavier than I was before. So like, what would he have done? Just dumped me? Because he was like, no, I like a slim petite girl. So yes, don't be afraid to show your true body. No filters, please, because you want to rock up on a date and be you, not somebody going, oh, you don't look like that woman that had sparkly things coming out of her hair. And then just try show pictures that show you and your interests and what you value in life. I listened to a great podcast recently actually where they get this example of a woman who was really high achieving and had a really close relationship with her dad, and her dad was her personal trainer, and she was kind of hiding that, but it was like, well, the person that you're going to end up with is going to be like, that's amazing, I love my family too, instead of being like weirded out by you being close with your dad. So that's I'm giving a really long-winded answer. I'll wrap up. That's pictures. And then on your actual profile, I think, again, getting across the true you and what it is that you value, and what is it you're looking for. But try avoid the like checklist of what you're looking for, and definitely avoid the list of what you're not looking for, because that again comes across a bit negative and low energy. And just like try get kind of some conversation starters in there. There's some apps where they ask questions and things to give it an easier in for people to message you. But ultimately you just want to be able to like reflect who you are in that profile. And I think, definitely some profiles I've seen where people they've maybe been at it a bit too long. Their profile is more like what I don't want, which is not really positive vibes, is it?
Not really.
Does that make sense, or is there anything else?
Yeah, good. No, it's great. Because it all helps, doesn't it? Because sometimes, again, you sort of think, oh, well, I need to look this certain way. My hair needs to be perfect, and, you know. And then, you know, if it's like if I have my hair cut and like my beard right, and, you know, lots of different things, isn't it? Whereas if you're just yourself.
The number one tip is just get started, because we all think, oh, I need to lose some weight, or I need to get buff, and I need new outfits and all the rest of it. You don't. You just need to put yourself out there and wait for magic to happen, but also be proactive and efficient.
And I think, yeah, absolutely efficient. Is there sort of like a point in time where you had been on, you know, like, let's say like 50 dates? It's all just been a disaster. Every person you've come across is not your person. Every online dating site you've been on, you're just getting the same type of people, etc. Would you say, if there's a time to kind of stop, think and reflect and change anything, or would you sort of like leave it be for a little bit because maybe you're not ready? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. If you are finding yourself like on an online dating app thinking online dating doesn't work for me, it's not going to work for you, because that's the energy you're putting out. So, you know, if you feel like you need a break, take a break. Sometimes it can work to just mix up the app that you're on. You know, I find, as much as Tinder can be a bit, it is really low effort and you can get quite a lot of matches. I am hearing that there's more men on it than women, so that may not apply for guys, but you know, quite easily you can get a little bit of an ego boost, which is sometimes just what you need, by getting a few more matches in and being like, oh yeah, okay. But when you said of like you've been on 50 dates and none of them are your thing, another thing to think about dating is like kind of not lower your expectations, but like have a bit of a different mindset around it. So instead of you're going into that date and I'm expecting fireworks and sparks and all the rom-com kisses at the end of the night and all the rest of it, it's like, okay, is this evening more interesting than what I would have been doing on my own? Did I learn something new? Like, you're going to meet somebody from a different culture, a different background, that they work in something different. They could give you a movie or book recommendation. You could end up in a bar or restaurant that you never would have gone to. And they're all really nice, valuable ways of spending time. Like, it's, you know, if you can go, this is more fun than sitting at home doing my laundry, then it was still a good way to spend an evening, even if it wasn't what you wanted it. Funny story, actually, right? So before I went on Tinder, I was on, it's not really around anymore. There was one called Happen. And this was like, geo-targeted. You had technically passed the same street, so you could have met them, was the logic behind it. And it felt a bit classier than Tinder. So I was on that for about a year and I was being highly efficient. I basically project managed myself into about 2 to 3 dates every week. And one day I went on with this guy who absolutely looked nothing like his profile picture. Like, I actually genuinely walked past him. He was standing outside the bar waiting for me and I walked past him and I did a whole recce at the bar and came back out and then looked at this guy who just looked, you know, like he was waiting for somebody, and he's like, oh, hi. And I was like, whoa. I'm only 5'5". I don't really care about height, but he was definitely shorter than me. And he was also dressed a bit like something out of like a really bad 1980s Italian mafia movie. And again, I know I said at the start, no judgment, but I was like, whoa, you're not my guy. But I was like, oh, okay, right, I'm here and I can't be rude and just bail, so let's go. So we went in for a drink, and he was a nice guy, and he's like, I'm starving, let's go for dinner. There's a really nice family-run Italian restaurant next door. And I was like, I mean, I know there's no spark here whatsoever, but equally I go home to my flat, which is empty, cold, and I've got no dinner in, so I'll just be getting some pot noodle on the way home. So I thought, okay, Italian dinner it is. And we had a really lovely meal. I discovered this octopus and potato dish that I've never had, which anytime I see it on a menu now, I'm like ordering that. And we had a bit of an awkward goodbye at the bus. And he messaged me and was like, clearly no spark, but nice to meet you. I was like,
oh, love that.
That was a nice evening in a weird way.
Yeah, it's a nice way to look at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Talking of not bailing, another little question has come up. So if you do pre-date and it's not right, but how do you tell them nicely?
Just be honest. Just be like, it was nice meeting you. I don't think we're gonna click, or like whatever feels your kind of language. But do it, because ghosting, whoa, that is not kind. That's not nice. And I used to send a message at the end of the evening to say like, thanks for a lovely evening. And that was kind of my one of like, if I wanted it to go someplace, then it was an opener for somebody to respond to. And if I didn't want it to go someplace, you kind of put a tagline on of like, nice evening, I don't think we're gonna click, but I wish you good luck and hope you find what you're looking for later.
So we've got a question for you, Caroline. So how many dates did you do before you met your lovely husband?
Absolutely no idea, but it was a lot.
125, no.
It was a lot, genuinely. I spent, because I had been single for years and years and years, and there was always like a little situation going on, or I'd do eHarmony for a while and then be like, no, I'm not paying for that anymore, or I would do some speed dating nights or whatever it was, and just be like, oh no, I'm all right on my own, or I'll meet somebody at at a bar, which actually we all think that was magical, but really, was it? No. Yeah. But then I actually did meet somebody, my ex, through online, and I was with him for a while, and that made me realize, actually, what, I do like being in a relationship and I do miss it, and I hadn't realized because I'd been single for so long and I'd been so independent. So that was the moment that I realized, yeah, I've definitely had barriers up and I've not been letting anyone in. So I said to myself, right, I've let somebody in, I've let the barriers down, I need to find somebody before I put them back up again. And that's why I project managed myself for a year. But on Tinder, I think Sam was actually the first or maybe second date I had from Tinder. So
fab. But like you say, like where you started this evening with, you have to kind of be ready and be a bit more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Again, don't you, to allow it to be able to start the process of dating, finding someone new, and then along the journey, rather than being so disappointed that you haven't met your next future husband or wife, etc., that you've found a lovely food dish and a nice restaurant and a do you know what I mean? And I think you just don't think of it that way. So it's really nice to have those kind of ideas to kind of help us think of it in such a different way. Yeah,
and I think kindness, just be kind to yourself and be kind to whoever you're meeting, because we can set all these like tests and checking for red flags and all these different things, hoops for people to jump through, but really just be kind and let them be themselves and you be yourself. And if it's the right person, it'll be easy.
Indeed.
Cheesy.
Cheesy. Oh, that's the perfect line. That's two perfect lines of the night. We're not in the 1950s anymore, and we shouldn't expect that. And I was like, easy cheesy. Love it. I love it. Well, thank you so very much. We've just got a few more minutes before we close. If anybody does want to ask anything else from our fabulous guest on this evening, Eimar. Thank you very much. We've got some lovely thank yous as well coming up. So thank you ever so much. It's been really amazing, and you've made us feel a lot less scared. But it's true, we're all so scared. We don't want to kind of
lean into
be vulnerable again. We don't want to be in love, but we should.
Just that you can jump on my website to kind of get a bit more understanding about Kindling and how I work. I'll be doing a blog post for Frollo as well, so you can read some more of my tips on getting started online. And I do a free 20-minute dating advice. So if you want to chat some more, just book in online and we can answer any of your burning questions that you didn't feel like you wanted to throw out in front of everyone.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so very much. And also in regards to that, for the community, on the meetup, and also with the blogs, and then anything on the YouTube channel, which will this will be on there. We'll then put all of your handles on there as well, so people can
Great.
be in touch and find you too.
Great, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining us this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure to share my Valentine's evening with you all. Thank you very, very much. And thank you very much, Eimar, for being here this evening and giving us some fantastic advice.
Yeah, go be brave, everyone.
We'll go be brave. We will. We'll be brave. And I'll look forward to catching up with you all soon. Take care for now.
Thanks. Night.
Bye.